So it's up close. I love this Saturday show because then I can invite people on the show and ask them any crazy thing I want to ask them. I never give them the topics ahead of time. And Amy, when she walked in, was, okay, you were not mad. I know you were playing. But you're like, now I will go into this room. And what will she ask me? So, but I haven't thrown you anything that isn't just fun run of the mill because you're exciting.
I'll answer anything you ask. There's not, if you follow me on social media, you know that I kind of say what I think.
No, not Amy Jones.
I know.
So, all right, you talk about in the 2 segments that we did before how much you love to talk.
Yes.
Okay, so how does that go over with your spouse if you're talking all the time? Does Kelly get a word in edgewise?
Neither of us do because our 12-year-old has found her voice.
Oh, how exciting.
Oh, gosh, she talks all the time.
More than you?
Yeah.
At that age,
like
even?
now I find that as much as I say that I like to talk, I go home and it's like, I'm just going to be quiet because, literally last weekend I looked at her, I was like, why don't you go upstairs with the dog and you guys go have a conversation upstairs?
I love how adorable that is.
Yeah, and she did.
Oh my gosh, and she did.
She did. She takes the 12-year-old dog upstairs, and we can hear they just have these conversations, and it's very one-sided,
of course,
clearly,
yes.
but
adorable.
So that I have found that to be a great outlet. It is a breathing being that will listen.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay, so tell me about deciding, okay, I'm going to stay in Lafayette. I'm going to live in Lafayette. Some say that this is a tough community.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You have your spouse. Now you guys are raising children together. Sure. What do you think now as a parent in Lafayette?
I would say this. I hate seeing a place that I love so much fight so much with one another. Okay. I really, and look, I am in politics and I have made a very good living because of politics.
Mm-hmm.
I don't talk about it.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
Just because I think that my opinion is my opinion, and sometimes I feel like I know too much.
Right? Maybe
you don't want to know everything I know. But I hate that there has been so much vitriolic hate that has become an existence here. And we don't want to know one another
anymore.
No, we just want to stand by ideology. And I don't think that gets us anywhere. I really don't. And I hate when I see some of the things that people put out there that I'm like, okay, I've been to dinner with you. You don't act that way. Why is it that you have the, I don't know, mask of a phone or a computer that makes it feel like it's okay to say things? Yes,
that level of separation.
That don't affect the way people see things. And, number one, there is not one post that any of you ever put on social media that's going to change somebody else's opinion politically. Ever.
Gosh,
Okay, so please come to understand that. Number two, it takes all of us. It takes all of us. And I refuse to believe that this city that raised me, this city that made me who I am, and, I like who I am, is a city that is going to allow itself to evolve into just this horrible sharks and jets mentality. And I really hope that, as more people come into running for office, and please, those of you that are good people, don't be scared off. Please get in these races. But, that we somehow find that, okay, we've maybe overcorrected a bit too much one way, that let's come back to that middle ground that builds a Lafayette that is a good economy, and that our kids, no matter who they are, feel like there's opportunity and that they are loved and that they feel safe, and that, we build that Lafayette that we all can be proud of. I mean, granted, is it an idealistic wish? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. But, I know this. This city has been ridiculously good to me. Mm-hmm. And I just can't believe that a city that has shown so much love doesn't really have that at its core anymore.
If the $1 million question, obviously, is if you got your wish, how do you think it would be a good way to come together and try to solve some of our issues? I mean, do we need to have community conversations?
I think we do. I think that, I have a lot of really, really good friends that, and people that I have built relationships with mm-hmm. that you would never think that we would be mm-hmm. the kind of friends that we are.
Yeah.
And you know why? Because we talk about our differences mm-hmm. and it's cool. It's okay to believe different things. That's the beauty of a democracy. Mm-hmm. I just don't think that you should berate anybody mm-hmm. because of how they feel. Mm-hmm. I don't get it. I don't believe in it.
Because do you really think that people would do those kinds of things face
absolutely
to face?
Not.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. They absolutely would not. I mm-hmm. mean, the people that say just some of the most awful things, you see them and then they want to hug. You know, and what I hate is that because they're saying those things, mm-hmm. it makes those hugs a lot harder.
Yeah, I would imagine it would. How much do you think it is as us as humans in America that we have stopped listening to one another, though? Because I think people walk into situations thinking, oh, I know how this person feels mm-hmm. right away. You think that's kind of part of the equation?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I just got back from New York a couple weeks ago and had a chance to see Hamilton for the second time.
Mm-hmm.
And the line that always, and I've listened to it on the cast recording and it still sticks with me is, when Aaron Burr tells Alexander Hamilton, talk less, smile more.
Mm-hmm.
That's really not bad advice. We all are so anxious to give our opinion on things that I think oftentimes we don't stop long enough to see where somebody else is coming from.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate that, we have certain things that happen and we're like, oh, well, that's too conservative. Mm-hmm. And then we do this and people are like, oh, no, that's too liberal. When did a conversation become so partisan?
Yeah, I know. And that's the thing. It's funny because I think we as people, that's exactly right. It becomes this conversation that is not a conversation.
No, it isn't. And, and I get asked all the time of why, knowing that, I've worked in politics and luckily, mm-hmm. With the growth of our company, which has just been outstanding and mm-hmm. astounding to me, that politics really only drives, 20 to 25% mm-hmm. of the business that we do. And so people ask, why don't you talk more about politics? And, you're involved in it. And I'm mm-hmm. like, one, do people really care what I think? That's number one.
Right.
And, number two, whose opinion does it change?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I enjoy social media, one, to put things out about my children that one day when they have their own social media accounts, they can go back and go, you really told that story. I just want to, make sure they're properly embarrassed. And and secondly, to watch dog videos, because
right.
I think there is nothing better than some of those dog rescue videos. I mean, I think they're awesome.
Well, maybe you have finally figured out the answer. Maybe if we started speaking to one another the kind way in which we speak to our dogs, maybe we could have some real discussions.
If people were as cool as my dogs, God, life would be so good.
Okay, that's beautiful. I'm loving it. Okay, Amy Jones is our guest, and she has been gracious enough to come here and talk with us and answer questions. And unfortunately, we've only got one segment left.
You better make it count.
I know. And I just want to put on the record, I'm never letting you interview me, okay? I'm just putting that out there. Because some people have come to this show and they've tried to do that, but oh no. Because I just know there would be so many gales of laughter. And you would look at me and I'd be like, oh, I'm going to have to tell her. I would tell you the truth. That's not it. but I'd have to tell you the whole truth.
Okay, but let's just get it on the record that if you ever would cop to being interviewed, it would be me that you would choose to do it.
Okay.
I want it on the record.
Hands down, it is now
Done.
officially on the record.
Done.
All right, we got more with Amy Jones coming up.